In safe rooms, there's what we can call the human factors. And it's just that, how much space do we need? Beyond what is the structure of the building, okay, how much space do we need for the occupants? How do we deal with water? How do we deal with toilet facilities? How do we deal with air, that we haven't sealed this thing up? So there's a lot of human factors that we have to be concerned about. With tornado shelters, we're typically looking at a duration of about 2 hours. Now, can it be longer than that? Absolutely. Can it be shorter than that? Absolutely. But that's what we're kind of figuring as a norm that you could expect a shelter occupant to be in there. So then we turn around and say, okay, how can we cover toilet facilities for that amount of time? How do we cover water, potable water, drinking water? How do we cover the air? As you can understand that for some people, this is going to be a panic situation. They're not going to just sit in and relax and all this. They may, some people may. Some people may walk in there and, have pretty high anxiety, even if there's not anything going on, but it's that unknown. And that can raise people's level of anxiety. So you want to keep them comfortable so that they don't panic and they don't go racing out the door, opening up the door to get out, that then may compromise everybody else in that shelter because they're doing it exactly when the wind event's going on. It tears the door off the hinges, and now you've compromised everybody else. So, those human factors we have to deal with, and we've got to think about as designers. First aid kits, radio communication, and I didn't say cell phone, radio. One of the things that we find with cell phones is if there's an event, if you're dependent on a cell phone, first of all, you go in a shelter, you're not going to have reception in there. Secondly, if the tower survived, which a lot of times they don't, if the tower survived, guess what? Everybody's on their cell phone trying to call out. So now that all gets jammed up. So it's about those communications outside. First aid's a big piece. I got to have first aid in there. What if somebody gets a bad cut somehow? We said near absolute protection. We didn't say absolute. So what if? How do we deal with that? How do we deal with storing all those materials? How do we deal with making sure that all those things are in place and haven't disappeared? How do we deal with, okay, we can put a lockable cabinet in there. Who's got the key? So there's a lot of those human factors beyond how do we create this strong envelope? How do we create this strong box? Now how do we deal with that stuff inside? So, and we call those human factors.